Hi, my name's David Nimitz. I'm from California, and this is my collection at the Norman Rockwell Museum. Since I was a kid, I collected a lot of cartoon toys that I just loved from TV, and my mother got really into it as well and collected as much stuff as possible through the years. Well, oldest Flintstones I have are the Knickerbocker dolls that are in here, like this baby puss right here. And a lot of people don't remember them, but then they kind of remember them from the opening credits. I got a Huck and Yogi in there from the late 50s. So those will be my oldest pieces. These are giant push puppets made by Kohner brothers, and they have a series of mid-sized ones, but for some reason they made a giant Fred and Wilma, and they're really nice figures, really with a lot of collectors. They're very sought after as well. This Fred doll sat in Joe Barbera's office for many years, and I was fortunate enough in the early 2000s when I was working for Warner Brothers, I would go up and talk to him during the day on my breaks and everything, and he gave me that Fred doll from his office. He said, "Take it home, it should be in your collection." At the time of them making all this stuff, he was so busy, he would just sign off on it and say, yeah, go ahead, make it. But he didn't quite know what they were making, and he would see stuff through the years, but I don't think it was really on his radar at the time. The US made a lot of Hucks and Yogis and those guys, but like when you get into Wally and a little bit, even Boo Boo as a collectible, Boo Boo is very sought after because they didn't make a lot of Boo Boos. To get Wally and Yogi and Boo Boo, I traded 400 Smurfs for them to get them because they're very expensive figures. But as a collector, just kind of find whatever you can find nowadays. They were sold in King's Dominion, Great America. They used a lot of Scooby at that time in 1980. They sold these little banks, and that was there. And items like these dolls are 1990, and they were made by Applause, and of course they'd never made Jane, which always upsetted a lot of collectors. They were so universally loved that other countries are like, hey, we're gonna make our version of them, which is cool because a lot of those companies made more obscure characters like the sidekicks, and in Mexico, Bucky made a lot of vinyl figures, and you would see like Touche and Dum Dum and characters like that toy-wise they didn't make as much out here. Everything's down to the dollar. How much is it going to cost to make? And I think back then, 50 years ago, they never thought of that. They just was like, let's make a nice toy and last, like those old Tonka trucks, they last forever. So it's not just some guy collecting stuff. There's a meaning behind it. Maybe one day it'll be in the Smithsonian, who knows? It'd be pretty cool.